Lydia Moore never believed in curses, only in bad luck. When she found the porcelain doll at a dusty thrift store in Ohio, she thought it would make Emily smile after a rough school year. The doll's cracked face and faded blue dress gave it a strange charm, like it had waited years to be loved again. That night, as rain tapped softly on the windows, Emily placed it on her nightstand. Moments before sleep, she whispered, "Good night." A faint sound came back, her name, spoken in a breath that wasn't hers. Lydia brushed it off as imagination, but when she tucked Emily in later, the doll's lips looked slightly parted, as if caught mid-sentence. That was the first night the house began to breathe. The next few nights were quiet until the whispers returned. Lydia heard faint movements, creaks, and a soft hum through the baby monitor, like someone exhaling too close to the microphone. Emily started talking to the doll during breakfast, saying it told her secrets. One night, Lydia woke to find Emily standing by the wall, pressing her ear against it, listening. When she asked why, Emily replied, "The doll says you're next." Lydia checked the recording from her phone and froze as a soft, raspy whisper called her name from the empty hallway. Determined to understand, Lydia took the doll to an antique shop run by an old collector who instantly went pale. He explained that the doll bore the insignia of Harlan Quinn, a 19th-century dollmaker infamous for trapping the souls of children inside his creations. His work was banned after several families claimed the dolls whispered their names before tragedy struck. The man warned her, "Never answer when it calls you. That's how it takes you." Lydia returned home shaken, clutching Emily close. But the doll sat calmly on the couch, its cracked lips curling slightly upward, as if it already knew she'd reply again soon. Lydia locked the doll in the basement, thinking she'd ended the madness. But every night at 3:07 a.m., a slow, rhythmic breathing echoed from behind the door. The air turned cold, and her phone's battery drained instantly near the basement. Emily began drawing her mother surrounded by dolls, all with blank eyes. Lydia smashed a mirror one night after seeing the doll's reflection behind her, though the doll was buried downstairs. When she ran to check, the basement door stood ajar, hinges groaning. The doll was sitting on the first step, its glass eyes fixed upward, waiting. The whispers grew louder, forming words Lydia couldn't deny. Through Quinn's journals, she discovered the ritual. The doll awakened fully after being answered 3 times by name. Lydia realized she'd already responded twice. Every sound in the house now mimicked her voice, her own name bouncing from walls. One morning, she found muddy footprints across the kitchen floor, small like a child's yet colder than ice. The doll sat in Emily's chair, its porcelain hand resting on a piece of paper. Scrawled in crayon, "Say it one more time, Mommy." A thunderstorm ripped through the night when Emily vanished. Lydia tore through the house until she found the doll sitting neatly on Emily's pillow. It was warm, almost pulsing. She screamed her daughter's name, and the doll's lips moved in return, whispering back in Emily's voice. The police dismissed her as hysterical, but when she showed them the nanny cam footage, even they fell silent. The doll was seen crawling onto Emily's bed at midnight. Lydia felt her mind unravel as the doll turned its head toward the camera and whispered, "She's home now." Desperate and broken, Lydia traced the origins of the curse to the abandoned workshop of Harlan Quinn. The building stank of smoke and dust, the walls lined with shelves of lifelike dolls. Each one seemed to breathe faintly, their chests rising and falling. Lydia doused the room in gasoline, whispering a prayer before striking a match. As the fire raged, she heard dozens of voices screaming her name from within the flames. When the firefighters arrived, they found only ashes and a single unburnt doll smiling among the ruins. Months later, Lydia sat in a psychiatric ward, her eyes hollow but her voice steady. She'd convinced herself the nightmare was over. One evening, a nurse handed her a brown box left by an anonymous visitor. Inside lay the same doll, pristine, its cracked cheek now smooth. That night, security cameras recorded Lydia sleeping peacefully as the doll turned its head toward her. The sound in the room deepened, slow, human breathing. Then, faintly, a whisper filled the air, "Lydia," and the breathing continued, perfectly in sync with hers.